today, just thinking about deaf people as unreached people groups. We want to know how, as One Tribe community, can we reach out to them in a more effective way, in a more empowering way, and enabling way. And so, Rose, as we start, can you tell us some of the things you think are myths or assumptions about deaf people as we think about ministering to them?
One, I would say that their major need is for them to be prayed for until they can speak.
Oh, so that is an assumption.
Yeah.
That everybody who meets a deaf person is like, let me lay hands on you. You
Yeah, let me just
you
pray
need to
for
talk.
you. And which is sometimes is very offensive. I've experienced firsthand an experience like that. So we go into a crusade and we're just there to, to just listen to the word and socialize, And then this pastor sees me signing for my mom. And so the pastor's like, yeah, you too, come in front here. I'm like, okay. So we just walk with my mom. And I was just standing there and people are just looking at us. And my mom is like, confused what's happening. And I'm like signing. I don't know either. We were just called. And my mom is like, okay, let's wait and see what happens. Yeah. So the pastor is like, people like this, we can pray for them, and God has the power to give them healing. And I'm like, okay. First of all, we didn't say we wanted that one. And my mom was very hard. She was like, is that the only thing they see that I need? And that's one thing people should really rethink. It is offensive for someone to think that a deaf person only needs to be prayed for until they.
Wow.
And the second thing is, so because they're deaf, can they read and write? I'm like,
yeah.
The only thing they can't do is just speak. Anything else, they can write, they can read, they can sign. Yeah, so that's number two.
Like they're just speaking a different language.
Exactly.
But they are literate.
Yeah. And the other thing would be, I don't know, I've like gotten this sense of when people look at deaf people, they think they are poor in some way. And they're like, so can I give you this cash? Okay, can I give you this donation? Can this help you? But I'm like, there is so much more we can do than just hand out, donations or help or whatever you want to call them. There's so much we can do. Because I mean, individually, every need is divided. There is spiritual need. There is physical need. There is emotional need. Even Christ, when he was going in his missions and preaching, he used to preach and then he will feed people. And he didn't really go and just pray for people because he saw they needed. Yeah. He waited for the people to approach him. So even for the deaf, don't go with the idea of, I know what they need, so I'm going to provide it.
Very true.
No, it's more of, let me come, let us talk and see what you need and how I can help. Because there is this quote we use in our community, like, there's nothing for us without us. So don't do anything for me if I've not asked for it.
That is actually a disability statement.
Yeah.
There's nothing
for us without us.
So you involve us.
Exactly.
Yeah, in meeting those needs.
It's more of, just come and socialize with me. We are all...
Yeah, come and know me.
Yes, just come, let's sit and let's talk and let's just have this conversation. So there is more to it than just giving out and just praying. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. And just thinking about Rose mentioning the miracles in the Bible and Jesus reaching out to people and asking them, what do you want me to do for you? Including a blind person, what can I do for you? And just thinking that it should be centered around them. And Rose, as we think about discipleship being one of the things we are focusing to do for our deaf community, especially discipleship and also mentorship. Yeah, like what are some of the things, I've heard you say there are 3 categories of needs. When you think about the deaf people as a whole, what are some of the ways we can reach out to them with the love of God, like practically, in our own individual ways as a church community?
So the first approach I would really advise is when you're going, let's say you want to do this and you want to go into the deaf community, don't go with the idea of, I'm just going to pray for them. It's more of, come from the angle of, let me go share Christ, you know. And it's not a guarantee that they will be convicted and they'll be like, yeah, I want this Christ. It's just share the love of Christ with them, and it's with the time. They're not. There are some who are very instant receptive. Okay, let's do this baptism and stuff. But some, they need like step by step. They need to trust you. They need to examine your motives.
Wow, that's interesting and exciting. And of course, even as we think about ourselves as one tribe community, it's reaching out from that perspective of physical health counts, but there's still the emotional health. People need buddies. Just someone who can hang out with me and talk about life. They also need emotional support in terms of what's going on in your life. How can I be there for you? Yeah, and socially and of course also when it comes to spiritually, they just need someone to share the gospel with them. Yeah, and Rose, you're doing an amazing job with the deaf community. We really appreciate you. Yeah, we applaud the effort you put into this and the fact that it's from the heart. It's who you are. You actually said you are deaf and hearing at the same time. Yeah, and we really appreciate you. And so One Tribers, let's see how we can plug in, even as we think about these unreached people groups. How can we reach out to them in all the diverse ways that Rose has mentioned and just be a blessing to them? Yeah, till next time, this is Rose and Paps from the Hacky team. Ciao.